Michael Nagy here with Jiggy Jag TV and DiscoveringBands.com, and I'm here with William Zimmerman. How you doing today?
Not too bad. How about you?
I'm doing good, doing good. So you want to tell everyone a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so basically I do publicity and PR work for bands who are mostly like in the gothic, industrial, electronic, those types of genres. And yeah, that's basically the nutshell version. So, I mean, we do things like press releases. I have an assistant who helps with social media strategy and just a lot of follow-ups and stuff like that.
Cool. Now, how did you get into all this, like start doing that?
So I actually kind of started as a writer, and I still do blogging from time to time just to sort of maintain that perspective of the writer, because it's two totally different positions. You know, you have the writer, and then you have like the publicist. So I started that way, and I still do that from time to time. And then I came across a company and just started working with them. And a few months after that, I just kind of decided that, you know, I wanted to be my own boss. And so I started doing this, and I started, you know, doing PR work for basically the bands that I loved as a fan. So.
And what are some of the bands you work with?
There's a little bit of a laundry list, and I wanted to be fair to all of them, so I wrote them down. So, of course, the two big ones are Christian Death and Mortis. Then there's a few, you know, like Saturday Night Shockers, Spank the Nun, Ayatoya, Matt Hart, Biomechanical, Biomechanimal. It's kind of hard to say. Reality's Despair, Autumn Tears, Eva X, Sea of Sin, Synthetic Messiah, Selma, Dead Agent, Dog Tablet, Her Despair, Shadows and Mirrors I just picked up. Is a really cool guy out of Rockford. Missing in Stars, 51 Peg, The Brute, Vasum, a band from France called Porn, Chemical Straitjacket. And then I work for a couple labels, Machine Man Records, and I do some stuff for a label out of Germany called Dunkelheit. And then there's also the band A Place Both Wonderful and Strange. And then I started sort of in the management area with a band from Florida called Machines on Blast. So that was pretty much like all in the last year and a half. I've been fortunate to work with all those just some of them ridiculously talented artists.
That's quite the list, yeah.
Yeah, it's been busy. So.
Now, for anyone who is interested in doing what you're doing, do you have any advice for people to get into it?
Yeah, quite a bit. Be patient. Start off doing something. Start off getting in touch with people as a fan and sort of develop those relationships like with writers who are into that kind of thing, because really it always boils down to the relationships that you make with the writers. And yeah, that's the best way I can say. And start like with a niche. Like, for example, I deal pretty much almost only with gothic industrial EBM bands. And, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I love. So start like that, be patient, and treat people with respect, because at the other end of that email or that transaction, there's a writer or band with, you know, who also has, especially right now, stresses, responsibilities, you know, financial obligations. They also have a lot of things going on in their life. I think that's the biggest thing, is just treat their time with respect.
Awesome. Now, do you have any other bands you'd like to work with, maybe?
Oh man, there's probably a laundry list. I mean, really. There's a band out of St. Louis near me called Giant Monsters on the Horizon that extraordinarily talented. Oh man. I was afraid you were going to ask me that, and I wasn't prepared for it, but
just a few, because there's so many. So
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's some just crazy talent like coming out of Germany and Mexico right now, and but like a lot of those bands are like the PR is sometimes handled by the label, um, but there's just some incredible talent going on right now.
A lot of great talent. Now, this
Yeah.
coronavirus situation, how has this affected what you're doing?
Um, it has, but it hasn't. The interesting thing that I found, like, since I kind of focus on such a niche genre, when in some way it changes things like drastically, and then some ways it doesn't. Like, for example, right now I find that writers, because they have so much going on, um, they're more inclined to help with what I call awareness campaigns instead of having a lot of time to do reviews or interviews. It's a lot easier for them to take a press release or a video and post it on their site or their social media channel, which is appreciated too. I mean, because as I said earlier, it's all about treating these guys' time with respect because there's a lot going on right now. Um, I've had, I mean, we were ready with the big PR campaign for Christian Death, who had all these West Coast dates and dates in Colorado and all that. And some big events like in California, and all that got canned basically. Well, postponed, I guess I should say. Yeah, but I mean, even with that bad stuff that's going on now, I mean, and I think that this, we're seeing like a lot of, especially like in this community, a lot in this style of music, there is a lot of community going on. As rough as it is right now, there's a lot of people that are just doing what they can, doing virtual events and things like that, and being real supportive of the artists. So
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, these virtual concerts, the scenes sticking together, and you got these virtual festivals. It's amazing.
yeah, and I think once this is all said and done, I think that the industry is just gonna explode to a ridiculous level, and bands are gonna start going out on the road more, and all this talent that's brewing is just it's gonna blow up, I think.
Yes, yes. Now, you yourself, do you make music?
I used to many years ago, but that just kind of the best way I can say it is the inspiration kind of went away to do that, and we I guess I should say that I kind of sort of went to the writing mode. I started doing blogs and things like that, and I just felt more comfortable with that. So I had many years ago, I had a couple tracks come out on like a couple compilations, but that's pretty much as far as it went.
Nice. Now, if people want to get in contact with you and find you online, how do they do that?
Aside from looking at this video, which I'm sure you'll post shortly, right now they can go to newdarkagespr.com. Although that name's probably going to change pretty soon, or they can look it up on Facebook. So that's pretty much it.
And what future plans do you have coming up?
I think we're going to dabble a little bit more in artist management. Like there's a lot going on with Machines on Blast right now, as I was saying earlier. We're going to kind of play around with that and sort of examine more like digital marketing, social media strategy, and kind of focus on, instead of just awareness campaigns, sort of focus on how can we sort of make more value and a better return on investment. So things like that, analytics, things of that nature.
Cool. Well, it's good having you and talk with you, and everyone look him up.
All right, yeah, thank you for all your support, and I appreciate what you do, and because you do a lot for these bands. So thank you.